The oldest manual of meditation is the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. And in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, there's a big Sanskrit and difficult Sanskrit commentary called the Vyasa Bhashya, where there are very nuggets of wonderful insights. In one place, it gives us this, exactly how to do it. He says, the commentary on the Yoga Sutras, all our thoughts come from the subconscious mind. The word for that in Sanskrit is samskaras. The samskaras, we are not aware of that. They're subconscious, below the level of our conscious awareness. But they bubble up, they boil up all the time. And when they come to the level of conscious awareness, we call them thoughts, emotions, feelings, desires. I want this, I hate that. Where does it come from? From our samskaras. When it comes up to the conscious level, the Sanskrit term is vritti. Vritti is a simple term. It means any modification in your conscious mind. A thought is a vritti. A memory is a vritti. A desire is a vritti. All of these are vrittis. Even perceptions are vrittis. So any modification, any wave in the lake of your mind is a vritti. When they boil up from within, the samskaras, tendencies, they come up as thoughts, feelings, desires, vrittis. And these vrittis which we entertain in our minds again subside into the lake of the mind and strengthen or weaken existing samskaras. So you have a cycle. If you have a notebook, you make a cycle. At the bottom is samskara, tendencies, accumulated tendencies. And then you draw a circle. At the top of the circle is vritti, conscious thought, emotion, feeling. Any conscious event in your mind is a vritti. So the commentator says, Evam vritti samskara chakram aharnisham avartanam. This wheel of vritti and samskara, tendency and conscious thoughts, feelings, emotions, this wheel rotates when? Day and night. It rotates day and night through our lives. Now what do? We have no power over the samskaras directly. We don't even know where they are stored. We can't change them. But here's the secret. We are aware of our vrittis, our feelings, desires which come up in the conscious mind. We are aware of that. Or we would be if we were a little calm and meditative and introspective. We can be aware of that. And when these samskaras come up as vrittis, the tendencies come up as thoughts and emotions and desires, there is a moment, a gap where they are weak, where they are not strong. They have not been expressed as language and action. The moment we start acting on it, they are very strong. Then it takes tremendous willpower to put the brake. You may put the brake one day, but you will stop putting the brakes the next 2 days. You can resist one cookie, but you will not resist the next 2 cookies. So, before it becomes action, before you have reached for that, when a thought comes up, if the mind is sufficiently calm, you will be aware of it. At that time, take that conscious decision. I will not think this, I will think that. I will not say this, I will say that. I will not do this, I'll do that. It must start at the level of thought. If you try to stop it at the level of action, it takes too much effort. That's why people fail again and again to follow diets or whatnot. Any kind of conscious plan of action. So, the interesting thing is, it gets easier as time goes on. Because remember, whatever we entertain in our conscious mind sinks back into those tendencies. And later on, after quite a while, those are the ones which will keep coming up. Then the programming becomes useful and good, then you don't have to struggle so much. Sri Ramakrishna puts it very beautifully. He says he used to live by a river, and he would see boatmen struggling hard with the big poles to push against the river bottom, to push their little boats out into the midstream. Once they caught the current, they would sit there with their hand on the rudder, and he'd say they would smoke a hubble bubble, and they'll be relaxed. They'll just put their hand on the rudder, and the boat will go along, carried along by the current. Similarly, as we meditate, as we consciously take the decision, when? Not once in a year, not on 31st December, day to day, at least daily, you take a decision. Keep your decisions up on a whiteboard or something in front of you. I just tell students, it reminds you again and again, I'm taking a decision. Not that time, I'm taking it today. Fail 1,000 times, absolutely no problem. But don't forget to take the decision again. You will find it gets easier. It's not easy at first, but it gets much easier. There's this story of a Zen teacher who the student came to him and said, I'm troubled by bad thoughts when I'm meditating. And the Zen teacher said, what's your thoughts? I do that, but I forget. Well, you do one thing. He gave him a pile of stones, little pebbles. You find in Japanese gardens, white and black. Whenever an undesirable negative thought or emotion comes to your mind while meditating, take a black pebble and put it in the bowl, this little bowl, porcelain bowl next to him. And when a good thought, emotion comes to your mind, take it and take a white pebble and put it there. So the student started meditating like that, and at the end of the first day, it was mostly black pebbles in the bowl. And so it was for days and days and days. Only 1 or 2 white pebbles. But as the months and years went by, there came a time when it was almost completely white. So what happens is, as you take these decisions, as the thoughts go back into your samskaras, good thoughts come up. And it becomes easier. Your programming becomes in alignment with what you want to do in life. So that's what he said, you take a decision. Meditation works in that way. It keeps on consciously putting a thought. The sacred mantra, which many of we have received, when you repeat that, you see the tendency of the mind is to go jump like a monkey from tree to tree. Monkey climbs up a tree and doesn't climb down a tree. It sees another tree, goes from branch to branch. Gets another branch nearby, leaps to the next tree, leaps to the next tree. And our thinking is like that. You think about a good day, nice day for driving. Driving, you think about the car, and you see the car in front, that was a red Ferrari. Red cars are nice, you think. And then my friend had a car like that. I wonder how he got the money for that car. Oh, he's in banking. I should have gone into banking. And then how bad my job is. So you see how it's going from this to this to this. And all the time it's happening. One way the mantra functions, only one very simple way, the deeper ways. But the one way the mantra functions is, it doesn't allow the monkey to jump from tree to tree, the monkey of the mind. It keeps it on the same tree, because you repeat the mantra, mind goes elsewhere, again you repeat the same mantra. Mind goes elsewhere, again you repeat the same mantra. It brings it back again and again. It cuts that kind of monkey-like hopping from tree to tree of the mind. So that's how the mantra works. But of course there is a deeper mystical significance to the mantra. It's not just psychological.